Hey everybody, welcome to Guitar in the Real World. Tim here again. Today I'm going to be talking about a subject which I think is important for all professional guitar players, or all potential professional guitar players to consider, and that is accompanying a singer. Now, I've had to accompany singers on the acoustic guitar a number of times over the years, and every professional guitar player will have to do that at some point in time, and it's quite an easy thing to end up finding yourself doing without really being prepared for it. So I want to cover some of the things that might help you out should this situation arise for you. I think the first thing to think about is that when you're put in that situation on a gig and you are accompanying a singer, you have quite a lot of responsibility to take, and this is the sort of thing that piano players normally have a lot more experience of. But for guitar players, we have to think about really complimenting the singer, making sure that you play a kind of a supportive role, but also, especially if you're playing more pop orientated stuff, even if it's just simple strumming, you need to kind of maintain a good pulse and a good feel and give that vibe that there is a rhythm section, a whole rhythm section playing. As an example, if I was talking, take a classic bit of pop, the Take That tune, Want You Back for Good, it has this chord sequence and this kind of groove. I've had to play this with a singer before the entire band came in, and it's quite interesting to try and do this knowing that you're setting the tempo and keeping the tempo for the rest of the guys to come in 16 bars later or whatever. So this is the basic groove. If you're not familiar with it, it's like this. Nice bit of cheesy pop there. Now, that looks easy, and it is easy. The point is that when you're in a gig situation and you've got the pressure on you, your perception of things can warp, shall we say. When we're nervous, our heart rate speeds up, we start getting a bit sweaty, and there is a tendency to speed up, or generally speaking, take a tempo that is faster than we think it is. By the same token, if you're aware enough that you have a tendency to speed up or play too fast when you're nervous, you may then go the other way and end up trying to play too slowly. And this is something that I've experienced many times, where I've probably taken the tempo back down a little bit too far. So there are some things you can do to help develop this skill set, and it involves using a metronome. On my phone here I've got a metronome which utilises the normal timekeeping fare. Set the metronome going, oddly enough, at exactly the right tempo. So you would practice playing. Okay, easy. If you've got basic control over your instrument, playing in time with a metronome shouldn't be that difficult for you. Now, this is where it goes on. We go on to the next most challenging part of this. If I make some adjustments to this metronome allows me to silence bars. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to turn the trainer on, and I'm going to have one solid bar at the start, one solid bar of the actual groove, and I'm giving myself 3 silent bars. So we've got a bar to sort of count us off, then a bar that I'm playing with, and then the next 3 bars I'm going to be playing to the silent click. So here we go. Let's see how we get on with this. I'm going to try not to cheat. I'm going to put it out of my eye line so I can't actually see the flashing. Okay. 2, 3, 4, and enough, I dragged that time. So we're going to try that again. 3, 4, and... I'm still dragging. So, if I was practicing this as something to prepare for a gig, I would spend some time really working out and analysing what I'm doing, working out why I'm dragging. There must be something in that I'm playing or something that I'm doing with my movement that's slowing me down there. So let's see if we can identify where this problem is. I'm going to try it again, and I'm going to keep my eyes open for when I move chords, and yeah, so let's just hear it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm now watching the meter. So, without going back and looking at what I've just done, I think what was happening there was that when I moved from the F sharp minor 7th to the A sus2, I think I was fractionally delaying my movement. And at that point, and it's just by the tiniest amount, but I think my tempo was slowing down. By doing this practice though, I've addressed that issue. I'm not saying that I'm now got perfect time and that I'll never make that mistake ever again. But it's something that's worth practicing, and you can apply the same practice principle using a silent click to all kinds of musical situations. For example, if you want to practice your time over, a section of a standard, if you're playing, practicing your improvising, practicing your line playing, trying to get a good solid feel throughout your line, that's another good way of doing it. There are some other techniques that you can use with the metronome for improving your time placement and feel and so on and so forth. I'm going to do a video with a friend of mine hopefully in a few weeks, although we may have to wait until we are out of the COVID-19 crisis, because I could do with actually being in the same room as him to do this. Yeah, have a look at that as a little thing to help you out developing your solid timekeeping. The great thing about doing an exercise like this is, even if your time is really good, what it helps you do is develop your confidence, because once you've done this kind of thing a number of times and you find you keep getting back in the right place, you will then go on the gig and go, it's all right, my time is solid, and you won't be worrying too much about it. Therefore your heart won't be pumping so much, therefore you're more likely to keep a good consistent tempo. You can also spread out the gap. You can have a 1 bar gap and then, a 1 bar solid and then 7 bars off. That's a real challenge, because obviously you've got much more time to get dragging or rushing. So give that a go, and hopefully that will help you out with your timekeeping. Now, there are other things to bear in mind when accompanying a singer. I had a very interesting experience once where the singer kind of didn't come back in for the final verse, and I was left floundering for quite a while. Now that gets the heart pumping and the nerves, the adrenaline starts to pump. This is the kind of thing that happens, and it's very hard to prepare for it, because only in the gig situation will you get to learn about this kind of situation. But I would say the thing that got me through it were two things. This sort of keeping time thing helped me to get through it and feeling comfortable about just keeping going. Having to think on your feet. let your hands continue to play even though you're thinking about something else, like when's the singer going to come in. I actually started improvising around different bits of the song to sort of cover it before he came back in, which meant I was having to use autopilot, and getting some basic skills together with regards to improvising with material, even playing the simplest thing, may well help you out. I have a whole host of other anecdotes which I hope to share with you at some point, but have a look at that timekeeping exercise as one of the first things to work on getting your accompanying a singer chops together. Okay, I'll see you next time. Cheers.